Hey, what's going on? It's your boy BT, and we are live here on YouTube, and we came here to talk some boxing while we patrol the streets of South Florida. Now, I just got done. I literally was at my one of the local Starbucks cafes, if you want to call it that, cafes, editing videos for the last 5 hours or so. Like literally for the last five hours, I've been on the computer just editing. And I actually, what's funny is I don't live in Dania anymore, so I walked from Hollywood to Dania to one of the Starbucks in Dania, so that I could just feel what it's like to be in my old neighborhood again. Because I miss the energy of just living in Dania, and it kind of inspires me to keep going, because you can take the kid out of Dania, but you can never take the Dania out of the kid. You see what I'm saying? So it is what it is there. Let's get to some comments. We got my man, Unemployed Mario. What's up, champ? How you doing? Hope all is well as you tuning in on this marvelous Friday night. I think it's Friday, right? It's Friday? I don't even know what day it is anymore. Matt Garcia, what's up, champ? What video did you comment on? I didn't look at my comments. What video did you comment on? I got quite a lot of videos, so I don't know which one. When you say video, I don't know which one you're referring to, but yeah, right now we're walking, we're patrolling the streets of Dania Beach, my old neighborhood, as we're going to call it now, unfortunately. Maybe one day I'll move back to Dania because I love Dania, but I have quite a long walk. Like I have a very, very long walk ahead of me, so I got time to talk, I got time to burn. Got time to burn, so you let me know in the comments what you guys want to talk about. I guess I'll start spitballing some thoughts on a couple of topics. It's kind of a slow week in boxing because there's not a ton of big fights. I know like there's fights going on in Argentina. The Carlos Monzon tournament's going on, but those are like C-class guys. Who else? I know that Norbin Ubali, whatever his name is, Ubali, he's fighting on ESPN Plus, but I really ain't too excited for that fight. So there really ain't too much going on in boxing this week. I know next week will be a pretty good week because I'll be covering a fight. For those of you who are wondering, I'll be covering a local fight at the Hard Rock Casino here in Hollywood, Florida. We got Derek Cuevas, a welterweight prospect. He's headlining the card, and then we got Bad Blake Davis, who's kind of like a local star. We got Logan Yoon, good prospect on the come up, and a couple other guys who I can't remember. But I'll be at that fight, and I'll be. Oh fuck! Hold on, the car about to hit me. I'll be at that fight, and I'll be basically covering that, and the weigh-ins be on Thursday. So you'll start seeing content for that on Thursday, and then the whole week, because I'm just so hyped for the card. The whole week, I think I'm gonna train the whole week. I'm gonna go to the gym Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. Probably do some sparring. I want to try to get some sparring in this week and maybe show you guys some more sparring footage. Why not? I'm documenting my boxing journey. But yeah. Let's see. I'm gonna go walk by my old apartment, which is weird to say now because, I lived there for so many years. But my man Enrique Luna says, damn BT, you need a new area. Pac Thurman is coming up. Yeah, Pacquiao Thurman is coming up. I'm really, really excited about that. It's gonna be a really exciting fight. I'm actually gonna go for that fight. I'm doing something a bit different. I might go live, but if I do go live, I won't be in a house. I'm gonna be out and about actually that day. I'm gonna go to the Delray Beach Boxing Club because at that boxing gym they have a bar. I don't know if you guys saw my video. There was a video I put out recently. It only has like 134 views last time I checked. But there's a boxing gym here in South Florida, and at the back of the gym there's a bar. There's literally a bar where you can get drinks and have a good time. And they show the fights, so I'm gonna go there with my dad and take some friends with me. Riddick Bowe actually might be coming with us. Riddick Bowe might actually come to the bar, to the gym with us to watch the Pacquiao fight. So Bowe, my dad, Bowe is a maybe. Bowe, maybe Bo. My dad's gonna be there, and probably a couple of my friends. So should be a really, really fun time. The bar is called the Cornerman Social. It's at the Delray Beach Boxing Club. So if you're in the area, if you're in the South Florida area, and you want to come watch the Pacquiao fight, come to Delray Beach Boxing Club. Go to the Cornerman Social, and we'll be doing that. Let's get to some comments. Matt Garcia says, it was your latest post, not a video. I just say keep up the good work. Oh, I appreciate that, Matt. I appreciate that. Yeah, just I wanted to let everybody know that I was coming on live to talk to you guys, because like I've been so busy editing all these videos and interviews, and I've just been running around to this gym and that gym and going everywhere, that I haven't had time to really just go live, like when there's not a fight going on, to just enjoy talking to you guys. Let's see. I'm going with Thurman by early knockout. Oh, that's a bold prediction. I won't say that. I'm gonna say my prediction for the fight is I got Pacquiao via unanimous decision, and this is the way I think that fight's gonna go when it does play out. I think Keith One-Time Thurman is gonna present himself as a threat. The fight, I think, especially once Pacquiao touches him with the left hand, you're gonna see Keith Thurman not be willing to overcommit to any sort of offense at all. You're gonna see Keith Thurman employ a lot of lateral movement, and he's gonna be looking to land hard counter punches. And if he does not land hard counter punches on Manny Pacquiao, I see Manny Pacquiao outworking him and outpointing him to a decision. That's my prediction for the fight. My man Kamal, what's up, Kamal? How you doing, champ? Right now we're out here in my old neighborhood in Dania. Out here in Dania Beach right now. I'm walking. I got a long ass walk back to Hollywood, so I'm gonna really just take this time to be productive with it, talk to you guys. But you know, I think between the two, I liked Riddick Bowe's jab better. Riddick Bowe has not to say that Holyfield didn't have a great jab himself, but with Bowe, he shown many times to be able to actually knock you down with a jab. You know, like literally, he's knocked guys down with his jab. So there are two different type of jabs. Bowe is more of a power jab to hurt you. Holyfield is more of a jab to keep you at bay. So you know, they're both great jabs in their own respects. But I would say, if I had to pick, I would say a Bowe. Interesting. So, for those of you guys don't know, that's my old apartment. That's where all the magic happened. That's where the millions of views are generated. That's where I used to stay, right there. But we're on our way back. So you guys drop your comments. I'm here. Let's talk. Thurman is going to come out pissed, I think. Listen, if Keith Thurman comes out wild and isn't composed and is just throwing these wild shots, Pacquiao's going to hurt him and hurt him badly. So he better make sure, for his own sake, that he goes in there, he takes his time, he picks his shots, and it should be good. I remember I was talking to one of my friends just now about the undercard, and I was having a hard time remembering who was on the undercard, because I remember the undercard being good. I remember the undercard being really good. But so for those of you guys who can memorize the undercard with Pacquiao Thurman, let me know. I remember Caleb Plant is fighting Mike Lee. That one I remember. But I can't remember the other fights outside from that right now. We got my man James W. What's up? He says, how was Holyfield able to outbox Bowe then? Bowe was way taller and rangier. Well, to be fair, and I know you can't go by CompuBox numbers, but there's actually a solid case that could be made for Riddick Bowe that he never lost to Holyfield. The second fight, if you look at the CompuBox numbers, and I know we can't go by CompuBox, Bowe landed like 100 more punches than Holyfield. I believe he landed 353 punches, and Holyfield landed 253 punches. But to answer your question, how was Holyfield able to outbox him in the second fight? Well, for one, he wasn't trading as much. He was using a lot more lateral movement. He made sure to not make it a war and not slug it out with Bowe. He was more elusive. And Emmanuel Stewart was kind of able to tame the beast within Holyfield. You see what I'm saying? So you know, and not just that, it was kind of the perfect storm because for as good as Bo was as a heavyweight, one bad habit Bo always had in his career was that he could fight short because he was such a great inside fighter. Sometimes he would, you know, he would sacrifice his height against smaller fighters and fight on the inside, and he did that at Holyfield on many occasions. And so you see that's another reason why I think, you know, Evander had success against him, not just in the second fight, but also he had his fair share of success in the first fight. See what I'm saying? So regardless, that doesn't take away from the fact that, you know, he had a really good performance in the second fight. You know, I had to rewatch it because I was hanging out with Bo the other day. Me and Bo actually hung out the other day while me and him went to go get some pizza, and we were talking about the second fight, and he really wants me to go back and watch the second fight because I told him I've only watched the second fight like once. I've watched all the first and the third fight a gang of times, but for whatever reason, I've only watched the second fight once. So I'm gonna go back and watch the second fight on his recommendation. I'm gonna rescore it, and then we'll talk. Henry Brown says super chat. What about the super chat? Did you super chat, Henry? I want to ask you guys a question. Is super chat even available right now? Because I'm streaming through this app on my phone, and I have to like manually edit the super chats when I'm not when I go live on this app, and I usually do that on my computer, but so I can't do it now as I'm walking. Didn't Frank Bruno drop Riddick Bowe? No, Frank Bruno never fought Riddick Bowe. They never even fought. Yeah, they never fought. So no, he didn't. I don't think anybody ever dropped Riddick Bowe. Not to kind of think of it. Who was the better outside fighter, Bowe or Lewis? Oof, that's tough. See now you're asking some good questions. Bowe or Lewis? That's tough, man. That is so tough to answer. I mean, I could sit here and argue Riddick Bowe because I think he's more talented than Lennox Lewis. But you know, when you look at the quality of opposition Lennox fought and how he was able to just that jab. Once he got with Emmanuel Stewart, that jab went from here to here. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know. My man Lyraka says, did Holyfield outbox Bowe? I'm not sure Holyfield ever beat Bowe. Period. I don't know. I'm gonna go back and rewatch the second fight because Bowe always tells me that Holyfield never beat him. Never, ever, ever, ever. And he's adamant about it to this very day. Like if you saw him and you asked him about it, he would tell you. So it is what it is. Francois Botha dropped Riddick Bowe in sparring. Is that true? I never. Well, I'm glad you told me that. I'm gonna ask him about it when I see him. I'm gonna ask him about it. All right, Matt. Take care, champ. Take care. Thanks for coming on, man, and supporting. But yeah, man. So look, this is where we at. This is Dane. Oh. I didn't even realize you could super chat, Henry, because I always thought like because I go live on this app, and I was always of the mindset if I go live on this app and it's not if I don't edit the monetization settings on the back end, you can't super chat. But I guess I'm wrong, so I appreciate that if you did. Someone asked what part of South Florida am I in? Well, right now, I'm standing in the greatest city in the world. I'm standing in Dania Beach, but we're walking to where I'm currently staying now. I live in Hollywood right now. And then I'll be, you know, I don't know when, but soon I'll be living in Miami. But I don't know when that's going to happen, but it should be soon. Joe Joyce. Yo, Joe Joyce, I'm going to tell you right now. Joe Joyce already proved that he was the best heavyweight in the world when he beat the former 5-time undisputed champion Bermane Stiverne. He killed Stiverne. So Riddick Bowe in his prime should be no problem for the great Joe Joyce, the fastest heavyweight boxer who ever lived. He's so fast. He makes fast people not look fast. Fucking Joe Joyce, pound for pound #1. Deontay Wilder, Anthony Joshua, and Tyson Fury, they don't want no smoke with Joe Joyce. the big juggernaut, big juggernaut. But yeah. Someone says, God too, are you in Hollywood? I live right around the corner. I'll come to you right by MLK Park. I might come meet you. Fuck, I always forget where is MLK Park. I know where it's at, but I forgot. I know, like right now I'm walking, you know the Save-A-Lot? You know the Save-A-Lot by Dixie Highway? No, not is it Dixie Highway? Save-A-Lot in Sheridan. You know the Save-A-Lot on Sheridan? I'm like kind of like close to there right now. Was Holyfield a good outside fighter for his height? He always seemed to outbox taller fighters when he wanted to, like Bo in the first round, the first fight, and the third fight. Well, yeah, of course, he was an exceptional outside fighter for being such a small heavyweight. I would even go as far as to say, I mean, at the elite level of heavyweights, I mean, as far as guys who went on to become like dominant, you know, great heavyweight champions, you know, he's probably the best small heavyweight that ever lived at that, because of the fact that when you talk about Holyfield, you know, he had that amateur pedigree. He was a world-class amateur, an amazing amateur. He was an amazing amateur. So, you know, he was on the '84 Olympic team. So he wasn't just an amateur. He was probably the amateur team of all time, you could argue. And he had a great understanding for positioning, and you know, to beat a guy like Holyfield, like I'm talking about in his prime. To beat a guy like him in his prime, you had to have above average power. You had to have really good footwork. You had to have the ability to make him punch when he resets, because Holyfield always had this one tendency where he would always bounce. Like if you watch his fights, like Holyfield would bounce and bounce and bounce, but like if you could time when he would reset, you could jab in between that. And Bo was able to do that in a lot of their fights if you go watch them. So yeah, an exceptional small heavyweight, you know, for, you know, as far as boxing the bigger guys, you know, because if you take a guy like Mike Tyson, for example, Mike Tyson was a small heavyweight too, but Mike Tyson, he had to kind of fight and crouch and use the peekaboo style, which we don't take that away from Mike. But Holyfield will literally box you out of a conventional stance, you know, using the up jab, using a straight jab, using a flicking jab, using, you know, his lead hand as a range finder to dictate where he was in the ring, and it's all good. Rob Dick Long, what's up, champ? That's the name, cracks me up. What's up, champ? How you doing? Out here, we walking the streets of South Florida. You said by the Green Street in a little store, and they're building the new mall on the other side. I have no clue. The Green Street. Are they building a new mall? Where am I at now? I don't even know where I'm at. I know where I'm at, but I'm trying to look for like a landmark or something. You know the soccer field. You know the Dowdy Field. I'm not too far from Dowdy Field. If you know where Dowdy Field is. AJ needs to hire Stacey McKinley. I agree. Stacey McKinley will have that boy straight. 5 days. He'll straighten him out real quick. Man, Stacey McKinley is an old school trainer to the core. He's one of them guys, man, where like, if you're not doing what he's telling you to do, like, you're liable to get slapped. Like, you will get slapped. It's like Stacey McKinley. I remember one time, I can't remember which fight it was, but I was watching Trevor Bryan fight on Showbox years ago. And I remember he wasn't doing what Stacey wanted him to do, and Stacey slapped the shit. Stacey said, "Get your shit together. Fuck wrong with you?" And he slapped him, like he slapped him here, he slapped him here. I mean, Trevor Bryan snapped right out of it real quick. He started doing what Stacey told him to do right after that. So I'm not saying that AJ needs to get slapped, but if it came to that, he would do it in a heartbeat with no hesitation. Does Holyfield ever talk about what techniques he used to beat the fighters? Maybe not. Like he hasn't talked about techniques specifically to beat taller fighters, but he often talks about the fundamentals of boxing, which are like, you know, for him, he always talks about the whole art of the game is you want to control the range and you want to, you know, basically dictate the real estate of the ring, you know. But maybe that's something I should ask him when I do see him. Like I should probably ask him about I should ask him about, like, specifically, what did you use to beat taller fighters, guys like Bo, and when you fought Lennox and when you fought these other behemoths, you know, what kind of techniques did you use specifically? Because he might have something specifically that he's never told me on camera, which is always good, because, you know, I've interviewed Bo and Holyfield so many times for so many hours, and, you know, it's funny because now it's funny, I talked to them both about so many things that now it's becoming a challenge, which is good. I like the challenge. It's becoming a challenge to find new things to talk about, which is great. Like, the last interview we did that I haven't dropped yet, and I'm probably gonna start working on editing it either tonight or tomorrow. The last interview we did, I was talking to them both about how they were both on the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, and then we were talking about I asked Bo and Holyfield to talk about that whole myth about how, you know how they say fighters aren't supposed to have sex before their fights. Like, I got them both to talk about that, and they both, I'm not gonna say what they said, but they both gave me their take on fighters having sex before fights or in training camp, you know, and it was very interesting. So I don't know when I'm gonna drop that, but when I drop it, you guys will see it, and I know you'll enjoy it. AJ's chin is not strong. I honestly think he will lose again. I mean, hey, it's fair. He looks very beatable right now. Ruiz might be one of them fighters that just has his number. We don't know. Personally, I want to see him win. I like AJ. I think he's done a lot of great for boxing. But at the same time, I think Anthony Joshua has to look deep within his soul and ask himself the honest question of, you know, do I still want to be a fighter? Am I still hungry enough to become champion and stay champion? Because you gotta think of it. Anthony Joshua has all these endorsement deals. He's making all this money. He's selling all these tickets. He could retire from boxing right now and be well off. And I'm sure he could probably go into commentating if he wanted to do that. He could become a boxing manager, which he already is, and do that, you know. So we'll see. Is there anybody from the UK? Is there anybody from the UK in here? Oh yeah, by the way, while I'm sitting here, let me know, like, what city, what state, what continent. Let me know where you guys are watching from. Give me the city, state, continent, all that stuff. Where you guys watching from right now? Represent in the comments down below. As always, you know, I just left the greatest city in the world, so I'll say I'm there anyway. All right, I'm reporting to you live and direct from the greatest city in the world, and that's Dania Beach. But represent where you're from in the comments down below, where you're at right now. Speaking of the UK, I wanted to give my subscribers and my UK subscribers an update on my UK trip. So, unbeknownst to you guys, I have been working very, very hard. I've been working very, very hard on trying to secure some interviews for my UK trip. Like, so I went ahead and I began to hit up, like, some notable names in British boxing, and so far I have 3 interviews that I have confirmed that I'm doing for sure. So far for my UK trip in December, there's three people I'm going to interview for sure. I've messaged them, and they messaged me back, and they've confirmed that they're going to do the interviews with me. So the 3 interviews that I have coming up when I go to the UK, I'll let you guys know right now who they are. Dave Caldwell, you know, the trainer for Tony Bellew, and now Derek Chisora. He actually direct messaged me today, and Dave Caldwell confirmed with me today that he would like to do an interview with me once I'm there, you know, just to message him when I get there. So he's confirmed it. Spencer Ferron, for, you know, Master Knowledge, that works for Sky Sports, he's already confirmed via Twitter to me that he wants to do an interview with me. And then the last but certainly not least, and this one right here, this one's gonna make some waves, so y'all better just brace yourself for this one. The last interview from the UK, so we got Dave Caldwell, great trainer, Spencer Ferron, awesome analyst, and the last interview that I had confirmed from the UK is none other than my main man, Tyan Booth. So yeah, Tyan Booth will be getting interviewed by True School Sports. He confirmed that on Facebook to me when I messaged him. So Tyan Booth, Dave Caldwell, Spencer Ferron, the Master Knowledge. You know, these are the 3 so far that I can confirm, have confirmed back to me that they're going to be doing interviews with me when I'm out in the UK. So that's the latest developments on that. Let me see. We got Toronto, Canada. Shout out to Toronto. Mesa, Arizona. Big shout out to Mesa, Arizona. What else we got? Latvia. Shout out to Latvia. Briedis gave Usyk his toughest fight. He gave him a tough fight. I don't know. Yeah, probably. It's up there. If he's not number 1, he's number 2. So yeah. Keep them questions coming though, cause like literally I'm walking home, so my phone's on 72%. My battery is doing pretty good. Like it's not burning too much, life. So I'm just walking home. I got a lot of time. So if you got questions, if you got something you want to say to your boy BT, you got time to say it. Drop them down below. I know there was big news the other day that Deontay Wilder has come out recently and said that Dillian White. I'll get to that comment in a minute, Rob. I'm gonna address that comment in a minute. But I was seeing recently that Dillian White or Deontay Wilder was addressing Dillian White, saying that he had four chances to make the fight, and he blew it 4 times. And I don't know, man. Like with that whole situation, it's like, bro, the guy made you a $4 million offer, which at the time was a career high payday for you to come to the UK. You turned it down. He conveniently left that out. He's fought like more top 10 contenders than anybody in the division, and I don't know, man. And now I don't know. Like Wilder, like God bless him. He's a fantastic heavyweight, a fantastic fighter. I like watching him fight. In fact, I have a funny video in regards to Wilder that'll be coming out very, very soon when I make my big announcement. Because I have a big announcement coming up within the next week or so, and I can't wait to make it for you guys. You guys are really gonna love it. But yeah, man, like he's got to step it up, man. He's got to step it up. But let me get to your comments. James W, do you ever want to interview Kevin Barry? Yeah, I'd interview Kevin Barry in a heartbeat. Kevin Barry. He's the one who trains, to make sure I'm not confusing him with somebody else. He's the guy that trains Joseph Parker, right? We're talking about Joseph Parker, right? Oh yeah, and to address my man Rob's comment saying that chick from the Delray Beach boxing gym was hot. Yes, she was. Her name is Jackie. Very attractive woman. Yeah, what's funny is I took a boxing class. I went back there again a couple days after that video was shot, and I took a boxing class, and I was fucking mesmerized. I had to hold it together, but we held it together. We didn't stare too long, and it was all good. But yeah, I'm actually like I was saying earlier, I'm actually supposed to go there again. I'm supposed to go to the Delray Beach Boxing Club again very soon for this Pacquiao fight, because like you guys saw that watched that video, there's a bar there, and they show the big fights there. So, or they show all the fights, not just the big fights, but they show the Pacquiao fight there, and I'm going there for that. Jaron Ennis should be fighting now. He's the king. He's the future king at 147. Yeah, no, Jaron Ennis is absolutely an exceptional talent. I would say he's probably the most talented fighter out of Philadelphia right now. No doubt about it. No disrespect to the other guys like Julian Williams or Tevin Farmer, but I look at Jaron, and if he fights at his best, if he realizes his potential, he's definitely the best Philadelphia fighter out there. No doubt about it. But still got to go prove it. He's still a prospect. He's still got to learn. So we'll see what happens. But I enjoy watching the fight. I like his combinations. I like the way he places his punches. I like Boots. Shout out to Boots. Let's see. Can you get Evander to break down the perfect technique for the cross and hook? Yeah, I could ask. I'll ask him to do that. I'll ask him to do that. Why not? Why not? Y'all give me a lot of ideas and things to ask about Holyfield and Bowe. You know what I'm gonna do here? You know what I'm gonna do for all you guys who are giving me these ideas about Holyfield and Bowe? I'm gonna make a post. I'm gonna make a post probably tomorrow, and I want you guys to just drop anything you've never heard me talk to those guys about. Drop it in the comments of that post, so that way when I go to the gym again and I see them, and I get them both on camera, because the thing is, what's funny is a lot of times people think that I plan those interviews out with Holyfield and Bo. I want you guys to know, when you see me sitting there with Holyfield and Bo, I don't plan that out. Those interviews are not planned. The way this is what normally happens when I see Holyfield and Bo. This is what happens. So normally what will happen is I'll go to the Heavyweight Factory just to go do some interviews, right? And then Bo is always there, so I wind up sitting down and talking to Bo. And then while I'm sitting down talking to Bo, Holyfield comes and I pull up my camera. That's how it works, but I never plan it. So what I want you guys to do is when I make this post tomorrow on my YouTube, please drop a comment down below on what you let me to ask them that I haven't asked already. It could be anything in regards to their careers, boxing techniques, things you may have heard. Like one guy said earlier that Francois Botha dropped Bo in sparring. Like, just anything. Let me know. Henry Brown said, "Don't let it fool you." BT said, "Wilder is the most talented heavyweight since Ali." He is. He's the most talented heavyweight since Muhammad Ali. He's the greatest heavyweight since Muhammad Ali. He's the best. They're going to make a movie about him tomorrow and air it on Lifetime. You should get new glasses, champ. I think that would suit you greatly, James W. says. Well, James, I appreciate you, Karen. I'm going to get a new pair of glasses really soon because I've had these bad boys for like a year. And, you know, I like them. I liked these glasses at first, and they're still, they're cool now. Like, they're cool now, but I don't know. I've kind of gotten sick of them after like the second month I had them. So I'm actually looking forward to getting me another pair of glasses. But why do you say that? Why do you say that? Why do you think those? Why do you think that would suit me greatly? Just out of curiosity, why are you saying that, champ? Thanks, man. I hope to see more technique breakdown from the champs. It will skyrocket your views and subs. Not many vids on that kind of stuff. Yeah. At bare minimum, if I can get Bo and Holyfield to do it, I mean, I will get Bo and Holyfield to do it. But I want to get Stacey McKinley to break that kind of stuff down because I know he likes that kind of stuff. He'd do it. I think Vitaly would beat Fury and Wilder. You know what? Vitaly is very underrated, and you know, I don't know if any of you guys have ever seen. I mean, it doesn't have a whole lot of views. It only has like 1,000, like 400 views. But I did a whole heavyweight boxing interview special with Stacey McKinley. I might re-release it because honestly, I kind of rushed it last year. And my channel wasn't as buzzing when I dropped it, so I might re-drop it just because I think it'd be better. But I did a whole interview special with Stacey McKinley, and it's literally called the Stacey McKinley Heavyweight Boxing Interview Special. And in that video, I asked him about like who the best heavyweights are, like certain categories. Like we had the top 5 hardest punchers in heavyweight history. We had the top 5 smartest heavyweights. The top 5 greatest heavyweights, and you know, in like 2 or 3 of those categories, I remember Stacey McKinley talking about Vitaly. Like he said, Vitaly is one of the top 5 smartest heavyweights ever, and he also said that Vitaly is the only heavyweight he's ever seen that could fight going backwards, other than Muhammad Ali. That's what he said. And I remember when I watched, I went back after he said that, and I watched a lot of Vitaly fights, and I'm like, damn, Vitaly had underrated skills. And like, if you look at the fights he lost, in the Lennox fight, you could argue that, well, first of all, he took that on short notice. That's one. 2, he probably could have continued, and the referee stopped it. And the Chris Bird fight, he tore his rotator cuff, and that's what it was there. But other than that, he was ironing these guys out left, right, and center. So Vitaly, I think, could have been world champion any era. Very underrated heavyweight. My man Rob says, I disagree with you, James. Bigger frames are in style. Small frame glasses look goofy. You should keep those. Well, I don't know if you guys see, for those of you who have been subscribed to me for less than a year, you may not remember this, but I used to have these square black glasses. I don't know if you remember those. I had these like square black Dolce & Gabbana glasses. I liked them. I had them for like a good 3 years, and they were really good. But I don't know. My next pair of glasses, I don't know. I saw these pair of Cartier glasses, but the Cartier glasses are too expensive. But I like Cartier glasses. They look nice. All right, Dad. I'll talk to you later when I get home. That's what I'm saying. Lennox didn't want no smoke. Vitaly would have gave him that work in the rematch, I think. Anthony Yarde will be fighting Kovalev for WBO, a future Hall of Famer, but if he vacates, Yarde fights Zurdo for a southpaw. Yeah, I mean, hopefully Yarde fights Kovalev. That's the fight I really want to see, because there's been a lot of talk from his trainer Tunde Ajayi that he can do this to Kovalev, he can do that to Kovalev, and they've really been talking down to Kovalev. And I would love to see Kovalev. I'm a big Kovalev fan. Like, I'm a massive Kovalev fan. Kovalev is probably one of my favorite fighters in all of boxing. So naturally, I want Kovalev to win. If he doesn't win, then great, because I think Anthony Yarde is taking a ginormous leap in competition. You know, to fight Kovalev, he hasn't really fought anybody. The best guy he's ever fought is probably, I don't know who, Travis Reeves. Who's the best fighter you think Yarde has fought? He hasn't fought nobody, really. So to fight a guy like Kovalev, who I think is a Hall of Famer and probably one of the top 30 to 35, top 25 best light heavyweights ever to put a pair of boxing gloves on, it's a massive step. And, you know, I think people are kind of overlooking his last performance. You know, he fought Eleider Alvarez, his first fight under Buddy McGirt, and Buddy McGirt seems to know how to get that little bit of extra quality out of Kovalev, and that's what he did. So, you know, massive shouts out to Buddy McGirt. How are the strip clubs in Dania? That's funny. Well, Dania Beach is a particularly small city. You know, I don't, to my knowledge, I don't think we have any strip clubs in Dania, so I can't really tell you. And I don't really go to strip clubs because that costs money, and I ain't balling like that. So you're asking the wrong guy. I do know that if you go a little further down south to Miami, that we have some of the most well-renowned strip clubs in the world in Miami. Like, I know there's the King of Diamonds. Everybody loves King of Diamonds. Someone said, get some Malcolm X glasses, that would look sick on you. You even got the Malcolm X beard. That's funny. Shout out to Malcolm X. That's funny. I'm gonna start a revolution. Garcia versus Joey Dwayko could be a nice scuffle. Yeah, it'll be fun, man. You know, Garcia, this is his heavyweight debut, and he's fighting a good, tough, rugged, you know, I don't want to call him a contender because he's not really a contender right now, but, you know, a guy who is a solid heavyweight in Dwayko. And, you know, if we know one thing about Dwayko, yeah, maybe he doesn't have the physical size or mobility to compete with the other top heavyweights, but one thing he does have is boxing IQ, smarts, and he'll be a test for Garcia. So we'll see how that goes. Speaking of, you know what, that's a good segue actually, because I actually interviewed one of Joey Dwayko's old coaches. Do any of you guys know Greg Hackett? Have any of you guys ever heard of Greg Hackett? Gregory Hackett? Greg Hackett. He's a boxing coach, boxing trainer from Philadelphia. Black dude, kind of chubby. He's a fighter too. He's not, you know, his record's not too good, but you know he's a lot better than his record would indicate. Any of you guys ever heard of Greg Hackett? I just interviewed him yesterday. I actually interviewed him yesterday on the 4th of July. That was like almost an hour-long interview. That should be out. I don't know when that's gonna be out, but it'll be out. Yvonne Lewis says we have 3:45 at night right now. I don't know what you mean. You got 3:45 at night. Who do you think Canelo fights in September? Conventional wisdom would probably say it'll be Triple G, because Triple G that's the money fight, and boxing is ruled by money, as life is ruled by money. But what I want, obviously, if you've been paying attention to my videos, I really want to see Canelo fight Demetrius Boo Boo Andrade. You know, I think Boo Boo Andrade is top drawer. He's top of he's creme de la creme of boxing as far as, you know, being middleweights go, and I think he can give Canelo a lot of problems. Yes, Gregory Hackett, yes, you're correct. Gregory Hackett used to be on Gabriel Rosado's corner, and he has a lot of interviews like on ES News on Ellie Sekbak's channel. Very good, very cool guy. Actually, me and him, I did an interview with him yesterday. It's like almost an hour-long interview. So that should be out. I'm not sure when it'll be out, but it'll be out within the next week or so. You know, this is a good problem to have. I like when I'm doing this YouTube stuff and I have so much content that, like, I don't know when things are coming out. Who was Evander's favorite trainer? Was it George Benton? I'm not really sure. If I had to take a guess, though, I'd probably say it was his own trainer, Lou Duva. But I'll ask him that. That's a good question. That, well, like when I make my post that I'm telling you about, because I'm gonna make a post after this is done, and I'm gonna ask you guys to drop questions for Evander Holyfield and Bullet you never heard me ask, and drop that one in there so I don't forget. Random Floridian question, being that I'm in Mexico. When people ask me where I'm from, I say Miami, Florida because nobody knows anything else. What's your take on that, being that you're a Floridian? Honestly, like, I don't like Miami. I like the only things that there's only like 3 things in Miami that I like, okay? Or yeah, 3 things. There's only 3 things in Miami that I like, okay? The Marlins, the women, and the Cuban food. Other than that, I'm not really a big fan of Miami. So people ask me about where I'm from in Florida, I tell them I'm from Dania Beach, and if they don't know Dania Beach, what I tell them is it's a small city in the Miami metropolitan area that's sandwiched right in between Miami and Florida. So I always say I'm from Dania Beach, which is located 15 minutes or 45 minutes north of Miami and about 10 to 15 minutes south of Fort Lauderdale. That's what I tell them, and I tell them that it's in between those 2 cities, and they always think that's pretty cool. So that's what I go with. Current champions with little amateur experience: Tevin Farmer, 16 fights. Dave Benavidez, 15 fights. Louis Netty, 9 fights. Richard Commey, 12 fights. That's impressive. I mean, I know he's not a current world champion, but Chris Algieri, he had no amateur boxing fights. I know Larry Holmes had like less than 30 amateur fights. I know Roberto Duran had about less than 40 amateur fights. So some of the greatest fighters of all time have had little to no amateur experience. I really think it depends on the how hard is the guy who wants to work in the gym, and is he in a situation where he's getting the kind of sparring that's gonna sharpen his skills? Because Larry Holmes didn't have a lot of amateur fights, but he had 3 to 4 years of being Muhammad Ali's sparring partner. So that's probably better. That's probably better than amateur fights. That's a lot to say in Spanish. My Spanish, okay, I feel you. Yeah, so then in your case, it's just better to say Miami. Does Miami live up to the hype? Oh, you know what? Before I get to that, I'm gonna answer Yvonne Lewis's question. He said, "Give me your assessment on Dorticos versus Marius Briedis." Well, that's a good fight. We'll start with Briedis. Briedis, I think he's had the tournament for him has been kind of weird because I can't remember the name of his opponent. The first guy he fought in the tournament, I didn't get a chance to watch it, but I've heard that he didn't fight that good in that fight, and some people even thought he lost against whoever that guy was he fought in the first round. I didn't see that fight. And then in the second fight, he fought Glowacki, and it was absolute mayhem. It was bedlam in Riga in Latvia. And you know, I think he's facing a guy in Dorticos who is going to come in with a lot of confidence, and he can't afford to turn in a lackluster performance at all in this fight. So, you know, for me, the way I look at this fight, if Briedis goes in there and he turns in a great performance and wins, it could be the signature win that his career kind of needs. For Dorticos, though, I like Dorticos, and I think Dorticos is. Personally, if you ask me who I favored in this fight, I would probably go with Dorticos. I think Dorticos, when you knock a guy out like he did against Andrews Tabiti, and you know, if you look at this jab, he's got an underrated jab. He's a skilled fighter. I wouldn't call him a technician, but he's a skilled fighter who knows how to set up his punches properly. It's a really, really good matchup between the two. I think if you're looking at Briedis could probably beat Dorticos in the department of work rate, but if we're talking about power, the edge definitely goes to Dorticos. Stylistically, it's a good fight. I'm gonna definitely get into some more tape so I could give you a better breakdown, but that's like my breakdown off the top of my head. Muhammad Ali versus Evander Holyfield. Who you got? How about Ali versus Bo? Okay. Well, those are great questions. We'll start with Holyfield versus Ali. I would definitely say that'd be a good fight. There'd be a lot of punches thrown for sure. But I think if they were to fight, that Muhammad Ali's ability to punch from all kinds of angles and his work rate would probably be the difference. I mean, not that Holyfield didn't have a good work rate himself. I just feel like in a fight like that, I guess in a fantasy fight, the Holyfield's best chance to beat Ali would be to counter punch him and catch him with something hard. Which, if we're talking about the Ali that fought like, I don't know, Cleveland Williams, I don't see that happening too much. So I would probably favor, I would go with Muhammad Ali in a close but clear majority decision. You know, if such a thing existed. And then Ali versus Bo. Woo! Listen, I love Bo. If we're talking about the Bo that fought Holyfield in the first fight, oh man, Ali might be in trouble. He might be in trouble because, I mean, we're talking about a guy who, I think at least, if we're looking at this objectively, Bo is a superior inside fighter to Muhammad Ali. As far as the jabs go, Muhammad Ali's jab is quicker, but Bo's is more powerful. That to me is almost a damn near 50-50 fight. I'd probably pick Riddick Bowe, to be honest with you. I mean, I know I'm biased, so you gotta take what I say with a grain of salt, but I would go Riddick Bowe, to be honest with you. Because we've seen Ali struggle with lesser fighters than Riddick Bowe. I mean, for Christ's sakes, we've seen Ali get knocked down by what's his name, Chuck Wepner. We've seen Ali have his Doug Jones give Ali fits. We know Ken Norton, who was a big, strong heavyweight, who was trained under Eddie Futch. Same trainer. Eddie Futch trained Ken Norton. You know, I would I like Riddick Bowe over Ali. I'm not even gonna lie to you. Yeah, give me Bowe over Ali. Miami is hot for 12 months. We in Latvia only have 4 months of hot weather. Well, I wouldn't say it's hot for 12 months in Miami. It's hot for like 11 months and 3 weeks. We have like 1 week where it's kind of cold. So I get what you're saying though. Nelwood Nez says, where is Lomachenko ranked pound for pound? Well, now if you're asking me where I rank him pound for pound, I would have Lomachenko ranked number 3. I have Usyk number 1 because Usyk, the way he cleared out, I hate when boxing fans always say, like, when a fighter beats like 1 or 2 good fighters in the weight class, they say, oh yeah, he cleared out the division. Like, I'll give you examples. Sometimes people say Danny Garcia cleared out 140 when he didn't. When he just beat Matisse and Khan, you know, great wins, but I'm saying he didn't clear out the division. And then they'll say, like, well, Andre Ward cleared out 168, but never beat Lucien Bute, who was a notable fighter, a fighter who had made like 7 or 8 title defenses. So you can't say you clear out the division if there was a fighter who made 7 to 8 title defenses that you refuse to fight for, whatever the case may be. So those guys didn't clear out the division, but this guy Usyk, he literally cleared out once the cruiserweight. Any fighter you can name, with the exception of maybe like Dennis Ledbetter, but I mean, come on, is anybody really clamoring for the Dennis Ledbetter fight? Any fighter you can name in that division, from Gassiev, who was undefeated at the time, to Briedis, who was undefeated at the time, to Glavaki, to Huck, to Bellew, he beat them all. So, straight to opposition, beating them in a tournament, you know, and the way he was doing it for the most part, I gave that was the different, that's the difference for me as far as him being the pound for pound king of boxing for me. Number 2, Naoya the Monster Inoue, you know, just he's stepping up in competition, and it's like the more he steps up, the better he gets, and he's stopping these guys left, right, and center. He's scaling weight classes. If he knocks out Donaire in a certain amount of time, he'll have won the World Boxing Super Series bantamweight tournament in less than 10 minutes. So the fact that that's even a possibility just shows you you know, just kind of the level he's operating at right now. And then just behind him, I'd have Lomachenko. That's what I'd have Lomachenko pound for pound, personally. Harold Calderon got to up the competition. Great fighter, but 32 years old with 20-plus fights. Are you going to his upcoming fight? Who is he fight? I mean, I'd love to go to his upcoming fight, but I haven't heard anything about Harold Calderon's upcoming fight. His last 2 fights have been at one of the worst venues in South Florida, which is the Miccosukee Resort and Gaming, Rinky Dink venue, and that's way down there in like East bumfuck. I'm not trying to go to like, I mean, I'll go. I wanted to go to his last fight, but I couldn't make it to his last fight. So I'll try to get out to his next one. Hopefully, I was kind of hoping he'd fight at the Hard Rock again, but he's been fighting more in Miami, so you know, fair play to him. But honestly, with him, yeah, I want to see him step up his career. He hasn't really fought anybody to write home about yet, and so like he looks good. He talks good. He looks the part of a solid welterweight contender. But we don't know if he'll be a solid welterweight contender because he hasn't fought another solid welterweight contender. So for me, I like Harold. I support him because he's South Florida, like I'm South Florida, and you know I want to see him succeed. I want to see him win because you know. I want to see South Florida win in boxing, so, you know, I wish him the best, but you got to step it up. For those of you asking who's Harold Calderon is this welterweight prospect. He's from Miami. He's like 32 years old. He's 20-0, but he hasn't really fought anybody, but he has a good little solid buzz here in the very small bubble of South Florida boxing. Golota beat Bo twice on points. No, he didn't. He punched him in the nuts. He punched him in the dick. So he ruined that for himself. Have you seen the clip of Teofimo getting dropped in sparring? Are you talking about when he sparred Virgil Ortiz in sparring, or when Virgil Ortiz dropped him in sparring? Yeah, I've seen that before. If that's what you're referring to, unless there's like a new one that came out. Hey, True, I'm in Queens. Is Pacquiao ready to retire? You think? Look, if Pacquiao wins fighting against Thurman, he's not retiring. He's not retiring. He wins the fight against Thurman, I think he's going straight into an Errol Spence fight. But if he loses in devastating fashion, then yeah, I think he'll probably retire. Well, he should retire. I mean, he's given boxing enough. I don't think he has to prove anything. Wait, are you guys? Is this a new sparring clip? Are you guys talking about a new sparring clip? Because I know there was a sparring clip before he was like a pro, when he was sparring Virgil Ortiz, and Virgil Ortiz was putting it on him. But is this a new sparring clip? Oh my God, I cannot wait to eat. I might go stop at Publix while I'm talking to you guys and get me a sub. I'm hungry as hell right now. But I'm not gonna go to that Publix over there because they got a horrible deli. So we're gonna go to the good Publix. Right hand counter landed right on the chin and yeah, I know Golota was beating him on the judges scorecards, but I'm telling you, he ruined it for himself. He was beating Bo, but he ruined it for himself by punching him in the nuts. Okay. What I will say is this: the Bo that he fought was not Riddick. I mean, it was Bo, obviously, but it wasn't the Riddick Bo. He had, you know, basically eaten himself out of the heavyweight title, and he was still better than the majority of heavyweights out there. But he had dropped off in terms of quality by quite a lot. Now the Bo that fought Holyfield or even Burt Cooper would have fucked Andrew Golota squarely in his ass and stopped him within 5 rounds. He wouldn't have had a chance, but he was fighting an unmotivated Bo, pretty much. You damn right. Are you still in that hotel? Yes, unfortunately, I'm still in that hotel. Thankfully, I'm not paying for it, and neither is my dad or... Yeah, anyway, we don't need to get into that, but yeah, I'm still in the hotel for now. Chicken tender sub. Oh man, that Publix chicken tender sub. That's that heat. I'm about to go cop me one. I'll probably, if my phone doesn't die, you guys might be with me when I go to Publix and cop one. Because right now I'm on 47%. So, you know, right now we're on like 47%. We're having around at that. So hopefully we don't have no problems. But look, that's where I'm at right now. Right now I'm just chilling. We're walking over here by from Young Circle here in Hollywood. So just another night in South Florida. Got the wind blowing. I don't know if you guys can hear it in the audio, but we got the wind blowing. Who do you got for the top 3 jabs in today's heavyweight division? Okay, that's a good question. Tyson Fury is in that top 3 for sure. You know what? I would say Joseph Parker's in there. Yeah, I think Joseph Parker's got a great jab. Joseph Parker's got a great heavyweight jab when he decides to throw it. Fuck. And then third, that third one's tough. But for third, I'll go with my main man, Filip Hrgovic. Yeah, so I'll say Fury, Parker, Filip Hrgovic. Eat it on camera. I miss those subs. Yeah, me too, man. Me too. And I live here. And I miss them. So, yeah. Grab some Chinese food. Nah, I'm good. I'm not a big Chinese guy. And honestly, if I did get Chinese food, I wouldn't order Chinese food in South Florida. Look, they got Thailand food. Like, I don't know if you can Thai. They got Thailand food. So, Pulev is a legend for exposing that skin. Yeah, Pulev's going to the Hall of Fame. I'll tell you this though, we might not be able to get Chinese food, but you know, if you're in the Hollywood area, there's plenty of those Asian massage parlors, which I'm not gonna go to. I'm not gonna go to no Asian massage parlor ever. Like, it's always like, it looks so, like, look, they got the curtains drawn. You know, it's open, but the curtains are like closed, and it's got a weird vibe around it. Anyway, do you think Evander could have outboxed Tyson Fury? Oh man, what a question that is. You know what I think he could have? I think Evander has enough quality to outbox Tyson Fury, break him down, hit him to the body. You know, we've seen Tyson Fury. As much as I love Tyson Fury, we saw him earlier in his career, twice in his career actually. Because people forget when he was at British level, he struggled with John McDermott. Some people thought he lost to John McDermott, but then he beat him in the rematch. And then, you know, Steve Cunningham knocked him down. So I could definitely see Evander outboxing Fury. Maybe even if he lands the right shot, breaking him down and stopping him. You know, Evander was that damn good. He was that damn good. He was what his nickname implied he was. He was the real deal. Yeah, you know what? People are really sleeping on Richard Commey. Like, I talk to people here in South Florida, and the thing is, when you talk to people in the South Florida boxing area about Teofimo Lopez, it's kind of hard because he's kind of like the darling of the South Florida boxing amateur system. So many people, when they talk about him, they can't talk about him objectively. You see what I'm saying? I'm even guilty of that myself in the past. But Commey is a very dangerous fight for not just him, but anybody in that weight class, and that includes Lomachenko, because of the punching power, because of his improving skill at the moment. He punches very, very well from mid-range. Got a good right hand, has a really good check left hook. You know, so if you just barge your way in, he'll catch you with a check left hook. So I don't know. I like Commey. I think Commey is a very underrated fighter, and I don't like how people are just writing him off and acting like he doesn't exist. You know, put some respect on Ghana's very own Richard Commey. Really, I remember his fight with Robert Easter really well, because I remember I was on a date with this girl. I was in LA for the Roman Gonzalez Cuadras fight, and there was this girl from high school who I had a crush on for like the longest time, and she was going to school out there, so I hadn't seen her in like a year and a half, and I hit her up. Me and her went to Buffalo Wild Wings, and I was watching. While she was talking to me, I was watching the Commey fight in the background. But yeah, man, Commey's always been a good fighter. Do you think Holyfield could have out-jabbed Tyson Fury? It would be very tough, but yes. The Holyfield that fought, like if he fights the way he did against Bo in the second fight, where he's kind of moving and feinting and not really overcommitting to his punches, I feel like he could out-jab Tyson Fury. It's a tall task. Like literally, it's just a freaking 6'9" tall task. But I think he's capable of it. Yes, to answer your question. Pulev has more power than Fury, at least in his jab. It's true. The guy that dropped Teofimo Lopez is a PR undefeated prospect that fights at 140 to 147. Oh, I have to check him out. What was his name again? What was the guy's name that dropped Teofimo Lopez in sparring? I like how we're here talking about sparring. Ugh. I'm not really too sold on my phone making it to Publix. So for those of you who wanted to see me eat that Publix sub on live, I don't know if that's gonna happen, because I'm on 42% and I still got a good amount of time of walking to do. What do you think of Omar Figueroa Jr.? He's a cool fighter. You know, I thought he had potential like 3 or 4 years ago, but he's too undisciplined outside the ring to really be a factor in boxing. And when you factor in the promotional issues of Al Haymon, you know, he's not going to be too much of a factor in boxing, in my opinion. But I think like 3 or 4 years ago, I think he had a chance to really make a mark at what I think it's 140 he's fighting at, and he kind of he pissed it off when I remember he got into like something happened. I think he had a DUI or had a car crash or something, and he has had Al Haymon behind him fucking his career around. So a good fighter, good work rate, entertaining to watch. I would have loved to see him fight my boy Adrian Granados. I think that would have been a fun fight. I think Granados would have beat him though. At 140, I think Granados would have beat him. But it would have been an interesting fight to see on PBC. But that's one that never happened for a number of reasons. But you know, it is what it is. Check out the clip. He walked Lopez into it. I'm gonna check it out when I get home and I have time to sit down. Right now I'm walking home, so can't really check much. I'm talking to you guys, so I can't really check much of anything out. But drop your comments down below, guys. Like, you don't necessarily gotta ask me about boxing. You can ask me about whatever. You know, we're all friends here. I mean, a lot of you guys that come to these lives, it's like you guys practically know me. So ask whatever you want. It don't even gotta be boxing related. See you guys. My man Ivan Lewis says, Vlad couldn't out-jab Fury. How will Holyfield out-jab Fury? About what? Talk about Lewis clearly out-jabbed Holyfield. Well, Vlad is a straight-up fighter. Vlad and Fury are like almost, I want to say almost eye level, but like he's a taller fighter. Holyfield is a smaller heavyweight. So anybody who's boxed knows that when you punch down on a fighter, it can be harder if the fighter is elusive and he's slipping, he's got skills and he's got head movement. You know, it can be hard to it can be a little bit harder to establish that jab. And I just feel like in a fight against Holyfield, I've seen Fury, I've seen Steve Cunningham, I've seen Steve USS Cunningham, who, let's have it right, was never anything close to a great heavyweight. I've seen Steve USS Cunningham slip Tyson Fury jabs, counter them. You know. So why can't Holyfield? And and mind you, I'm a massive Fury fan. This is coming from someone who loves Fury, but I can be objective and say that, look, I'd probably pick Fury to win via decision, but we're talking about the real deal here. We're not talking about Steve USS Cunningham. We're talking about the real deal Holyfield. Okay, I think he can give Fury a lot of problems in his prime. My main man Jasper Ram, what's up, champ? Shout out to you over there in Birmingham. It was just wanted to say, Jasper, it was also very nice talking to you the other night on what was it, Instagram Live, or, you know, Instagram video chat, whatever it is. It was good talking to you, man. It was fun. Looking forward to getting out there to Birmingham and meeting you and the lads, your lads. I'm gonna start using the British slang, but your friends, and that should be fun. Holyfield out-jab Lewis, second fight. Holyfield from the Douglas fight with out-jab Lewis. Yeah, I don't know if some of y'all know how good Evander Holyfield actually is, the way you're talking about him. Straight up. Jermall Charlo is very overhyped on Andre Sculum. Well, I'm not going to say that he's very overhyped. I actually think he's underrated, to be honest with you, because everybody hates the Charlo so much. Anytime they don't go out there and knock someone senseless, they say it's a horrible performance. Now, I didn't get a chance to watch the entire Brandon Adams performance, but from what I saw, it was not his best work, Jermall Charlo. But I think these last 2 fights against Korobov and Adams are good for his career, because he's now learning that, you know, when you get to the elite levels of boxing, not everybody you hit is going to fall with every punch you throw. And this is good for him to learn, because now it's going to force him to go back to the gym and learn. I think Jermall Charlo is good enough to win a world title, and I'd love to see him get his chance against Golovkin or Canelo. Maybe I'm alone in that, but I like Jermall Charlo. Now, Jermell, different story. I think Jermell was very overrated. if you want to say he's overhyped, I'll agree with you. I'll be the first to agree with you on that one. But Jamal can fight his ass off. And I mean, this is the same Jamal Charlo. We saw how he stopped Julian Williams. We saw how he knocked him down. The man caught a jab midair. After he caught it, in the same motion, he caught it, and he countered him with an uppercut. Bang! Slumped him. So, Ramanathan. Yes, Ramanathan. I'm going to be interviewing him when I get there to the UK. Shout out to Tyann Booth. Nottingham's very own Tyann Booth. That's probably the interview I'm looking forward to the most. I mean, I could probably get an Anthony Joshua interview or interview the biggest boxers in the UK. But honestly, the one I'm probably looking forward to the most is Tyann Booth. Because Tyann Booth is a G. Drinking Echo Falls. Talking about Coogan's bent legs. I can't wait. I cannot wait for his next video when he has to talk about Coogan going off on Prince Patel. It's gonna be probably his best video of all time. It's gonna be great. If that was the case, LR Trigger, then why hasn't anybody actually stopped him or at least put him on the canvas yet? If it's that easy, then why has nobody put him on the canvas yet? Why didn't Korobov put him on the canvas? Why didn't Julian Williams put him on the canvas? And mind you, I was rooting for Julian Williams. In fact, fun fact for you guys that are here who are kind of newer to my channel. The Julian Williams Jamal Charlo fight was the first ever fight that I went live, that I did a live fight reaction for. So I remember it very well. UK Soccer Mania, yes. I plan on attending a couple football matches. Hopefully, while I'm in the UK, I get a chance to attend a couple of matches at Goodison Park, home of the beloved and amazing Everton Football Club. Big shouts out to the Mighty Blues. Because Charlo has a good chin, and those guys aren't big punchers. And you know what? You make a fair point, but what I'm saying is, you're making it sound like he's so easy to hit that even if the guys, if his defense is so terrible, and if his defense is so piss poor, then those guys should be able to overwhelm him with a steady work rate and accumulation. By what you're saying, but they don't. I'm just saying. Like I'm not even the biggest Jamal Charlo fan, but I think he's a very good fighter. I think that people are actually underrating him because they hate the Charlos. I'm not saying that he's better than Boo Boo Andrade. I think Boo Andrade would school him. I think he'd probably lose to Canelo, but I think he could give Triple G a great fight. I want to see Canelo or Golovkin have to fight one of these two American guys. Whether it's Charlo, whether it's Andrade, I don't care which one it is, but I prefer it to be Andrade because I think Andrade is the best middleweight in the world. I think he's better than Canelo. I think he's better than Triple G. And I think if either one of those guys, like I said in my video, if either one of those guys goes their entire career and doesn't fight him, then I will have lost all respect for Golovkin and Canelo. Because look, I like Golovkin, but let's be real. He made his career beating up on 154 pounders and moved to the 160. And, you know, I know a lot of guys ducked him, so I'm not going to overlook that fact. He has been ducked by a lot of fighters, but he made his career beating up on 154 pounders that they brought up to 160. And he never really fought. If we're being honest, Golovkin never really fought a fighter with the kind of qualities and attributes that Andrade is bringing to the table. We're talking about a guy who's a long, rangy boxer puncher with deep amateur experience. You know, it feels like I feel like I can say that for almost any weight class. It feels like when a guy is the A side of the division or the cash cow of the division, they always avoid the guys who are long, rangy boxer punchers. It happens in every freaking weight class. Do you like Daniel Jacobs? I don't hate Daniel Jacobs, but I'm not gonna sit here and say like, I mean, he seems like a nice guy. He's a good fighter, but I think he's a bit overrated. I think Daniel Jacobs is a bit overrated as a fighter. People say he's underrated. I think he's very overrated as a fighter. Now, if you want to talk about guys who are underrated, Boo Boo Andrade is severely underrated. I don't know how people... And you know, it pisses me off. American fight fans don't even like he gets more hype than Andrade in America, and he's not. In my opinion, Andrade is a whole level and a half above Jacobs, and I mean that with the utmost respect, because I don't hate Daniel Jacobs, but Jacobs looked super average against Canelo. And the funny thing was, I knew he wasn't gonna look good against Canelo. I was telling you, I wasn't excited for that fight because he's just one of those fighters. He don't have that extra bit of quality to fight a Canelo and rise to the occasion. He doesn't have that kind of quality. So he went there, he threw 6 punches, and Canelo slipped 5, 6 right in front of his face. So I've never really been impressed with him at the top level, but I think he's a good, solid top 5 middleweight. Barely though. Charlo has good fundamentals and good technique, good power. He is athletic, but doesn't have enough ring IQ and overall skill to beat someone like Canelo. Well, no, maybe not Canelo, but he could beat Triple G. He can beat Triple G. I'm sorry, he can beat Triple G. Triple G is slow. His power is not as what it's cracked up to be. He can beat Triple G. Straight up, because Triple G won't move like Canelo. He'll sit there, he'll throw punches. All Charlo's got to do, because Charlo has proven and many times in his career, he can sit there in the pocket with you, catch a shot, and counter. Whether it's a counter uppercut, counter jab. He's a good fighter, man. Cuckoo1, what's up, champ? He says Canelo isn't ducking. Well, ducking who? I'm not gonna say. Look. I'm not as adamant about him ducking Charlo, even though you can make an argument for it. But I'll tell you right now, that dude has been ducking Demetrius Boo Boo Andrade for years, because I've been on YouTube for years, so you can't bullshit me. I digest a lot of content here on YouTube. I remember very vividly in 2013, 2014, 2015, all these years of Boo Boo Andrade calling this guy out, wanting to fight him at 154. You know, now he's at 160. Now there's no excuses. Now he's active. That's one. He's active, so you can't say, oh well, he's not active, he's irrelevant. So you can't say that no more. You know, you can't say he's irrelevant to the landscape of the division, because he has a belt. So he's got a belt, and you can't say he's a bum because he's undefeated, and he's outclassing guys that, like, for example, Suleski, right? The guy he just fought gave Daniel Jacobs went life and death with Suleski. Andrade went in there and shut his ass out for 12 rounds. You can maybe Suleski won a round if you want to be extra generous, but really it was a shutout. So he's taking these guys who are good top 10 quality opposition and just making them like F-level fighters. And that's the kind of fighter he is. I thought Jacobs actually did good against Derevyanchenko. I thought that was a good performance. I thought that was his best. I thought that was one of the better performances, actually. Golovkin jabs whose head off all night. I know we ain't talking about Andrade. Andrade will fucking slap Golovkin silly if they fight. He will slap him silly. That's why he's not gonna fight him. Yes. There is many forms of witness protection programs in boxing. You know, the one that we talk about the most here on True School Sports is the Deontay Wilder witness protection program. So we have that. You know, he's got a witness protection program. Gervonta Davis has a witness protection program, but Canelo, Jesus Christ, this dude really has a witness protection program on steroids. He's got witness protection. He's got child support. He's got everything from the WBC. Jesus Christ. Okay, well, if Golovkin is the okay, you're talking about Charlo. Okay, I can see that, because Charlo's stiff and he don't really move his head, so I can see that. I can see Golovkin throwing lots of jabs, making him reset. You know, that one I could see, but Golovkin is not beating Boo Boo Andrade. Okay, Canelo is not beating Boo Boo Andrade whatsoever. Or not Canelo, Golovkin. I mean, Golovkin's not beating him whatsoever, because Golovkin, he's too slow-footed. His best chance is to land a big punch. You know, I don't know. Listen, I don't like to say things like to people out there about who they should support, like, oh yeah, you gotta support this guy because he's an American fighter. But what I will say is this, and I'm not speaking for any of you guys here from the UK. I'm not speaking to you right now. I'm speaking to the American fight fans. Okay, there's very few fighters in America that I feel like are worth getting behind, because I don't feel like many of the hyped up American fighters are really like top level quality. They're just their products are their products are the promoters and matchmakers. Okay, but when we talk about guys who are elite, when we talk about guys who are top quality, when we talk about guys who are world class at the highest order, and a guy we should get behind here in America, Demetrius Boo Boo Andrade is one of them guys, man. And that's one guy that I will get behind. That's one guy what I will say as an American, okay, he is worth getting behind. He is worth supporting, and he is top drawer. He is world class. You know what? I even say this: his resume, his last 5 fights is actually very underrated, because the guys he's been fighting aren't big names. But if you look into the guys he's been fighting, they're solid opposition. Like, he's not getting fed the Steve Rolls and the Rocky Fieldings of the world. He's fighting good quality opposition. You know, this last fight he fought Zaleski, solid top 10 guy. We know that he gave Jacobs a very, very good fight a couple years ago, or a year and a half ago. You know, then before that he fought Arthur Akavov, and Arthur Akavov was a guy that fought Billy Joe Saunders and damn near beat him, took his world title from him. So he wasn't a bum. He was supposed to fight Billy Joe, but Billy Joe failed a drug test, and then he fought Walter Kagadawa on short notice. And Kagadawa was, you know, a solid, durable guy, top 15 quality, barely, but, you know, solid guy. Before that, he fought who am I thinking about? Before that, he fought I know he fought Alantez Fox, who's, I can't remember his resume right now, but he was a solid fighter. And before that, he fought Willie Nelson when he was on 154. He fought Willie Nelson at 154, the same Willie Nelson who handed Tony Harrison his first loss and stopped him on ESPN Friday Night Fights. I watched that fight, and he beat the shit out of Willie Nelson. And I believe when he fought Willie Nelson, it was on a year layoff, and he basically won almost every round against Willie Nelson. So, come on, man, cut the bullshit. And Andrade is top level, world class. Yes, Alantez Fox is fucking massive. He was a behemoth. Who has the best resume in boxing? Canelo, AJ, Usyk, Lomachenko, or someone else? We're gonna go with someone else. That's Roman Gonzalez. Roman Gonzalez has the best resume in boxing. Straight up. Ain't nobody. And that includes Lomachenko, that includes AJ, that includes... The only guy you could argue is maybe Usyk. But other than Usyk, Roman Gonzalez got the best resume in boxing. Easily. It's not even close. If Roman Gonzalez, if a fighter, I'm going to put it to you guys this way. If a fighter was doing what Roman Gonzalez has been doing the last decade of his career at 147, there would be zero debate on who the fighter of the decade would be. But because he's at 150, because he's in the flyweight division, and people don't want to educate themselves, and, you know, they don't get as much attention, you know, it has to be a debate. But if he was at 147 doing what he was doing, you know, destroying #1 guys with no tune-ups and a new weight class, you know, winning the lineal title, stopping the champion, you know, stopping he won a world title in 4 weight classes, okay? In three out of those 4 occasions, he stopped the champion. And the fourth title he won, he beat the #1 guy with no tune-ups. If a fighter was doing that in any other weight class, this wouldn't even be no discussion. But yeah, to answer your question, Roman Gonzalez or Usyk. I would say it's between those two. That's right. Chocolatito the GOAT, the real TBE. Someone said not Lomachenko. His resume is filled with bums. I wouldn't say he's filled with bums, but his resume for me is overrated. He has some highlights, some really great highlights on his resume. I'm not taking that away from him. Like, he made Nicholas Walters quit, and Walters was very hyped up, so and very highly rated at the time, even though he had a year layoff. But he ain't doing what Roman Gonzalez was doing. Roman Gonzalez beat better fighters than Lomachenko. Roman Gonzalez beat better fighters than AJ. Roman Gonzalez beat better fighters than a lot of these guys. Easy. Hawker Mustang, what's up, champ? How you doing? I've been walking for almost an hour and 30 minutes. Exactly. And Floyd Mayweather himself, that's the one thing we must remember, okay? Because Floyd Mayweather is not someone to come out here and endorse people just to endorse them. Floyd Mayweather is probably one of the most egotistical and self-centered and narcissistic human beings on planet Earth. If you don't believe me, just go on his Instagram page and go look at a couple posts. But they asked him in 2017, they said, Floyd, who is the pound-for-pound king of boxing? He didn't say Andre Ward. He didn't say Lomachenko. He didn't say Canelo, and he could have said Canelo. He could have said Canelo because he could have said, oh well, he fought him. He could have used it to hype him up. But no, he gave everybody an honest answer at the time, because at that particular time, there really was no debate. The only time you were only going to debate that if you were an Andre Ward fan or you just didn't know shit about boxing. But for people who knew about boxing, who knew about the small weight class, that had taken the time to do the research on Roman Gonzalez's resume, and easy money, Roman Gonzalez, and Floyd let you know. So what does that tell you? He's the only fighter, think about that. Roman Gonzalez is the only fighter that Floyd Mayweather Jr. himself has crowned the pound-for-pound king of boxing. I never heard him crown Ward as pound-for-pound king. I never heard him crown Lomachenko as pound-for-pound king. I never heard him crown Manny Pacquiao as pound-for-pound king. I never heard him crown... I can go on and on. So that holds weight, whether you like it or not. Loma almost lost to Linares. You damn right he almost lost to Linares. Yeah, he was wiped out in one round against Pablo Cesar Cano. I mean, granted, it was his first fight at 140. Cano is not. I know Cano is not creme de la creme. He's not. We're not going to confuse Cano with anybody great, but he got iced by Cano. You're right. Cuckoo One says he stands behind Crawford. Yeah, hey, Crawford's another one. People should be getting behind Crawford, but at the same time, Crawford doesn't really endear himself to the public outside the ring either, so he's kind of harder to get behind. That's true, and Linares beat some good fighters, man. He beat like Luke Campbell's one fight that comes to mind. He beat Luke Campbell, who everybody's saying now is a great fight for Lomachenko, but Linares already beat him. So we all know that Mikey Garcia ducked all the big fights at 135. Holyfield versus Usyk at cruiserweight. Who wins? Give me Holyfield. Give me the real deal. No disrespect to Usyk, but Usyk has never fought someone, because I feel like, and I'm being objective here because I like Usyk. Usyk has never fought someone that I feel would make him push the pace and fight at a different pace than he's accustomed to. Like guys like Briedis and Glowacki and Huck. These guys are straight up and down fighters. They're fighters that like to throw one, maybe two punches at a time. They're not the most athletic fighters in the world. So I feel like against them, he always has a superior athletic advantage. As to with Holyfield, he would have had that superior athletic advantage. So I would definitely say that Holyfield beats Usyk in a very entertaining fight. Jaffer says, okay, champ, signing off, keep up the training. All right, bro, take care. Crawford got shot and drove himself to the hospital, BT. Yeah, you're right about that. So maybe he should be pound-for-pound king of boxing for that. You know, it's funny. I feel like I've been seeing an increasing number of people in boxing say that they think Usyk is going to beat this guy and Usyk is going to beat that guy. It's kind of hard for me to say because he hasn't fought a heavyweight. But I don't know, man. It's kind of hard to talk about Joshua because Joshua, right now, our last image of Joshua is him getting splattered on the canvas by Andy Ruiz. So, of course, our opinions of Joshua aren't going to be as high as they would have been 2 months ago. But I don't know. I think Usyk could beat Andy Ruiz. Okay, Don Flamenco. Don's bringing up an interesting point here because I never heard nobody's ever told me this before. He says, in my opinion, Roman Gonzalez blew it by being lazy. because he didn't want to make weight anymore, and therefore he moved up to a weight class where his punches were less effective and his chin couldn't hold up. You know what? That's a fair point. That's probably the most fair point anybody's ever made, like, I guess in a negative way, against Roman Gonzalez on this channel. Yeah, you're right. When he was at 115, he was rocking that dad bod. That motherfucker had that. He had that dad bod. You know, eating Doritos and all kinds of stuff. He had that dad bod. You know, so you got a point. You know, he wasn't as durable. His punches definitely were not doing the kind of damage they were. You know, I think he was very, fortunate to fight a guy like Cuadras, who is a very good fighter. Let's not get twisted. He was a very, very good fighter when he fought him. But he's someone that I feel like his style was good for Roman Gonzalez. You know, in a way, it's kind of good, I guess, that he didn't fight Inoue, because I think Inoue at 115 might have been the worst thing that ever happened in his career, even worse than Rungvisai. Puts the Doritos down. Malachi, you eating Doritos, champ? That's funny. That's funny. But yeah, he'll beat KO5. He'll beat KO5. In fact, Eddie Hearn follows me on Instagram, so I posted a picture of Roman Gonzalez because he's back in training. He posted it on his Instagram, and I posted it on my story, and I tagged Eddie Hearn in it. I said, Eddie Hearn, put KO5 in the ring with Roman Gonzalez so he can be world champion again. And he saw it too. He watched it. So pretty funny stuff. I might interview KO5 when I'm out in the UK, because I'm staying in his hometown. I'm staying in Birmingham, so should be fun. Yeah, he could have been, man. It sucks. It really sucks, man, because I remember how fun it was. I mean, it's still fun to talk about Roman Gonzalez because I love him, but it was a little bit more fun to talk about him when he was undefeated, because people were hating on him. It was just fun. But they had to rob him. They had to rob him against Rungvisai. If they would have given him that decision against Rungvisai, he probably would have fought Inoue next. And who knows, maybe he'd lose to Inoue. I probably think he would have lost to Inoue, but it would have happened. You know, better than this whole what if scenario, because that fight's never gonna happen now. And I wouldn't want to see it happen now, because I mean, one, Inoue's weight, Roman is weight, Inoue would have killed himself to make the weight to come back down, and Roman will get sparked right now. Now, 2014 to 2016, you know, very, very good fight, but not now. BT, you should watch UFC tomorrow. Who's fighting tomorrow on UFC? I might do that, because I ain't got shit else to watch tomorrow. I don't know if I'm gonna watch Nordine Ubali. So if it's decent fights, or if it's someone who has a name, you know, I might go check it out. Ask him if he will give Israel Gonzalez his rematch. Oh my God, that was the robbery of the year last year. Oh my God, KO5 versus Israel Gonzalez was one of the worst robberies I may have ever. It might be the worst robbery I've ever seen on a Matchroom card. So yeah, I'll ask him that. That's a great question, because Israel Gonzalez beat his ass. Chocolatito doesn't get the credit that he deserves. What a bizarre world. I agree. I absolutely agree. You know, but as long as I have my little platform here on YouTube, and whenever we talk about the best fighters of this era, I will always mention Roman Gonzalez, and he will not go forgotten about on this channel, no matter what anybody says, because he gave boxing fans a lot of great fights. He held that pound spot down very well for a year and a half, and he did it with class, dignity. He fought the best. When he lost, he didn't make excuses. He gave his opponents credit. He was everything you'd want in a champion. And if he was an American fighter, doing that, he would have been the most hyped up thing ever. I got Pacquiao winning via decision. I don't think he's gonna knock out Thurman, but I think that left hand is definitely gonna get Thurman's respect. I think Thurman is gonna approach the fight the wrong way, because I can just see by the way he's training in camp that he's gonna be looking for a stoppage. And when he can't land the counter punches, I think Pacquiao will outwork him to a decision. Oh snap! Amanda Nunes versus Holly Holmes. Shit, I might tune in for that. That sounds like a great fight. Holly Holmes is that baby. Holly Holmes can get it. I like Holly Holmes. Good fighter. I mean, I know she's been taking a lot of L's in UFC from from what I remember. I mean, I don't follow UFC, so if I'm wrong, you can correct me. But I remember she lost to Miesha Tate. I think she lost Miesha Tate, and then she lost to. Didn't she already lose to Amanda Nunes? I feel like she lost to Amanda Nunes, but I could be wrong. Fuck, I've been walking for almost an hour and a half, and I walked by where I'm staying, but I'm going to Publix right now to get me this sub. I'm so hungry right now. We're going to Publix to get our sub. Oh, you best believe it. We're gonna get peppers, sweet peppers, green peppers, Swiss cheese, chicken tender sub. We're gonna melt that joint. We're gonna put red wine vinegar on that thing, black pepper, the whole nine. It's not my thing. I hate martial arts. I mean, I don't like UFC because, or MMA, I should say, not UFC, but I don't know, man. I don't like all the grappling and wrestling and I don't know. I was happy as hell when Holly Holm beat Ronda Rousey, though. Fuck Ronda Rousey. I remember when they put Ronda Rousey on the cover of Ring Magazine, they tried to disrespect boxing. She was the first ever woman to be on the cover of Ring Magazine, and she wasn't even a boxer. And I remember I actually did a post-fight video for when Holly Holm beat her. You guys can go watch that. If you go on my channel and search up Holly Holm, you'll find it. I was happy when Holly Holm beat her. BT needs to wear ankle weights. Yeah, I mean, wait, why do you say that? Why are you trying to say my legs are skinny? I mean, I do have skinny legs. I need to work on those. Bruh, you've been walking with no water for more than an hour. Yeah, man. The only reason I can do that is because I'm in shape. This right here is proof that I'm in pretty decent shape because I've been talking to you guys. My throat is dry as fuck. I'm almost at my destination. Been walking for an hour and a half with no water, and I'm still going strong. So if that's not a testament to stamina and being in good shape, then I don't know what it is. You know, your boy BT's in shape, cut like a steak knife. At some Publix to delis, people look like they hate making subs and they go slow as fuck. Well, Don, I don't know if you realize this. I used to actually work in a Publix deli. That was actually my last 9-to-5 job. I quit my Publix deli job in January to further pursue what I want to do here on YouTube, and I've been doing that. Bro, it is. I'm telling you right now. Think of the most miserable thing you've ever experienced in your life, and times it by 30, and then that's what working in the Publix deli is like. Because the thing is too, all Publix delis are understaffed. That's number one, because nobody wants to work in the deli. That's number one. Number two, because they're understaffed, you know, they're always short-handed, and the demand is always high. So that's number one. The meanest customers in the whole store come to the deli, like the old hags and old men and women that have nothing to do with their lives. They all come to the deli and they give you a hard time. So that's two. And then three, you're dealing with, primarily for the most part, you're dealing with like middle-aged to old women who have nothing going for themselves in life. And so because they're old and wrinkly and they have nothing going for themselves, and they have like 4 kids from like 3 baby daddies, and I'm being dead serious. Every Publix deli is like this. They always come to work angry, they have problems, and you gotta deal with their shit. I mean, I did it for 4 months. I couldn't do it any longer. If I would have stayed. And then the managers too, the deli managers are like the worst people to work for in the world. I mean, I've had a lot of 9-to-5 jobs, and I can tell you with zero doubt in my mind that the Publix deli manager I worked for was the worst person I've ever worked for. If I would have stayed there for another month, I wouldn't be on YouTube. I'd be in fucking jail for killing him. He was a dick. Straight up. He said I got them wilder legs. Yeah, man, I got them wilder legs. I need to work on it. But sometimes some of the hardest punching boxers of all time had skinny legs. Tommy Hearns, Deontay Wilder, Brendan Taylor, you know what I'm saying? So don't get it twisted. Just because I have small legs doesn't mean I won't knock the hell out of somebody. But I would have drank 3 bottles of water walking the distance. The heat getting to you, you hungry? Yeah, bro, I'm mad hungry. Luckily, I'm just around the corner from where this Publix is, so that's what it is. Like, I forget to ask for oregano in the beginning. I don't bother because they be giving the stank eye. Yeah, bro. I mean, I have sympathy for them because look, I've been on the other side of that table. So if they get mad at me, I'll actually know how to deal with them and whatnot. Because I've been there, and I mean, it's really a thankless job. It's really a thankless job because the managers don't appreciate you. You're overworking, you're underpaid. So that's like, I'm kind of glad. I'm glad I worked there though, because I'll tell you this: if I didn't work that job at Publix for the last 3 or 4 months, I wouldn't have been able to find the fire again for YouTube because it was so bad. Like I remember, I never knew what anxiety was until I fucking worked there. It was horrible. It was horrible. I mean, they pay you what, like, I think it's $12. It's $12 an hour now. When I worked there, it was $12 an hour. So you get paid about $1 more than the people in the green shirts. But damn, you mean to tell me for $1 less, I can just go work in the front and do the produce or do customer service or bag groceries? Well, no, bagging groceries you make like 7 something. You don't make nothing as a bagger. It's because they have an ovaries. Oh yeah, man. Yeah, women are working like I'll give you guys a breakdown of how my deli was. Okay, so in my deli there was like, I'm gonna say there was about, maybe excluding the managers, there was about 17 to 18 employees. There was some employees that were full-time, some were part-time, some worked in the day, some worked at night. I was flexible, so I worked both days and I worked nights. Wherever they needed me, that's where I worked. There was only in our deli, but aside from myself, of the 18 people in my deli, there was only me, Brian, Burley, Mark. There was probably only 3 other guys. So we're looking at like 4 to 5 guys and about 15 women. And most of these women are Haitian women, and especially people from South Florida. If you know anything about Haitian women are batshit crazy. They are another level of crazy. And most of these Haitian girls had like 2, 3, 4 kids, and they're all middle-aged, and if they haven't gone through menopause, they're going through menopause. It was brutal. Like I wouldn't wish it. I wouldn't wish my experience in Delhi on my worst enemy. I wouldn't do it. It was brutal. The best job in life you can have is having no job. That's right. Kind of like me right now. Like I'm doing okay here on YouTube, and I got some big things to announce soon. So I'm just waiting for some things to happen, and you guys will hear about it soon. It's because they are not doing that well sexually. That's right. Maybe they should listen to Tyan's Boots videos and they would have been okay. I agree. But listen, guys, my phone is on 3%. I'm going to go to Publix and get the sub. It's been an absolute blast talking to you guys and coming live on here. Sorry I haven't been able to do this more. I've just been busy editing a lot of videos. Those videos you guys have been enjoying, the interviews and the footage and stuff. I've been putting a lot of time into editing those, and there's more coming out from my visits to Delray Beach and Boca Raton over the last couple days. So just be on the lookout for that. Stay tuned for more stuff here on True School Sports, and I'm gonna let you guys go. And like I say in every single one of these videos, you can love me or you can hate me, but I'm just a kid from Dania. So until next time, take care, guys.